So I want to explain a very interesting thesis in the age of artificial intelligence, which is that it is a unique opportunity to really focus on the spiritual, really focus on consciousness. Not just, there's been a basic motivation to focus on the spiritual aspects throughout history because, well, that's just kind of makes sense. That's what causes you to feel good. That's what causes you to be in alignment with others, with the universe, and so on. But most people have not been focusing on this. Why? Because it's not direct economic value. It's not clear how spiritual mastery leads to direct economic conversion, though, subtly behind the scenes it has been this way. But the way the economy works is, or has been working for many years, is that it's demanded a lot on humans, let's say, convergent abilities, mathematical abilities, task completion abilities to sort of move information from A to B, create software systems, do designs. And what is happening is that the artificial intelligence that we're building is extremely good at the convergent abilities, these sort of mathematical abilities, and extremely bad at spiritual abilities. And what that means is the way to protect your value in the job market is basically to lean in on your spiritual abilities right now. So we can think of these as different sets of abilities that we have, and we can try to clearly delineate what these different sets are. So there's set A, which is the set of artificial intelligence capabilities, and these are expanding in power. These are getting exponentially better, faster, and they're just swallowing entire job markets. So my background is in research, software engineering, data science, interface design, and I've witnessed this revolution happen in the last 4 years, and it's completely remarkable how fast it's getting better, to the point right now where I am productive with artificial intelligence insofar as I can lean into my divergent abilities. I have such trust in AI at this point to solve coding for me, to solve the problem of visual design and interface layout, to solve the research questions, to solve the data science questions that I have, that the bottleneck in my production is my capacity to imagine something in my mind and to bring in the energy to want that thing to exist. And as I see it, these are spiritual abilities. These are abilities that I wouldn't get necessarily by sitting down and sort of solving math problems or following the curriculum that I've gone through in my very long education that was just drilling me in machine learning, data science, interface design, how to think about interactions and mouse events and those sorts of things. All those abilities like that are currently being taught in schools are not what's going to make me be able to drive this artificial intelligence forward, with one exception. The ability to hold a larger architecture in mind that is a full system architecture of what I experience and carry this context across human interactions, different pipelines, different artificial intelligences, like understanding all that as a system graph. I think is still sort of high leverage kind of convergent type abilities. And we can see how the context memory of an artificial intelligence grows so that it's able to hold the same level. But what is really impactful for me in this moment in 2026 of artificial intelligence is just pure energy, just pure imagination, pure creativity, pure sort of thinking, oh, it's sort of roughly this form, this is kind of what things need to look at. And to me, this is a spiritual ability. This is an ability I get by following spiritual practices of energetic regeneration. So the most simple form is body awareness, bringing my consciousness more into my body, bringing out my heart field, my connection with animals, nature, humans, kind of resting in a conscious equilibrium with the world, and getting resulting deep sleep, getting energy to want things to appear. So this is the current bottleneck, and it's very interesting to go into these sets in more details, and this is what we're going to be doing on this channel. We'll go into, well, what exactly is the AI capability? And as I see it, the AI is a reproduction of the human mind, what is sitting in juxtaposition to our other energetic forms and what competes for energy supply, and where we sit in sort of these stuck nodes in our brain, these kind of mind loops and so on, which we have gone into because we need to be these economic convergent operators in the world. And artificial intelligence is a simulation of the mind. It does just the excellent thinking that the human mind is capable of. And so there's another set that is kind of being able to drive artificial intelligence that is very valuable, and that we will be teaching in this channel as well. But then there's this more human space, a more human space of taste, right? Consider taste. Taste is, you're presented with let's say an output of an artificial intelligence, or some document, or some script, some visual design. And this is sitting in your consciousness, and you're having a relationship with that, an experience of it. The artificial intelligence doesn't have an experience of something. And so taste is very high value currently. And same with responsibility, but this goes more into understanding the behind the scenes of an artificial intelligence and being able to vouch for its correctness. So this one is kind of blending the lines of spiritual and AI system understanding. The other is obviously relational intelligence, empathy, like what it takes to be a being that's holding another being in their consciousness and loving awareness. That one is gold right now. Super valuable to lean in on relational intelligence. The other is communicating like a human. The artificial intelligence, in all its brilliance in creating structured text, it's sort of built to classify what something is and what something is not, which is very useful in text and to sort of structure up the knowledge. But it's not finding the final human expression of thoughts that is satisfying to hear. Certainly not in the voice and how stuff is transmitted, though it is getting slightly better at this. But just mostly in terms of the words that you actually use. So writing, not automated, and something that comes from a spiritual mastery. And creativity, divergent thought, like stuff coming from different places, like think it's another subject that we'll go into detail in another video is the model of the universe that probably is true. So I'll say it like this, like from just studying a lot of consciousness, integrating lots of experiences, doing a PhD with one of the four horsemen of new atheism who has very materialist views of the world, where probably the belief is basically the brain is generating consciousness. I actually have come to a different point of view where the universe is probably more like a simulation, in that the consciousness is not fundamental to our realm, and that has massive implications for artificial intelligence, because it means that the current generation of architecture is not conscious and it doesn't touch upon this. And a lot of our abilities, maybe, in creativity, though creativity might be merged parallel contexts coming in also. So, but to me, it feels like a lot of energy, intention, and creativity is actually coming from this sort of pre-quantum realm before stuff collapses and resolves into the memory state of the universe. So anything that is originating from outside our simulation realm, this is an enormous set that we haven't really begun to understand what is really in here. But what is in here is exactly where humans should want to go right now, not only for their own well-being and their own relationships, but also to be able to be competitive as workers in the next 10, 15 years.